DCU Daily time. It is Tuesday. It's one of our big days, and that means a tier list Tuesday after today's show. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start this wonderful Tuesday proper with a bit of DCU Daily. Of course, we start our wonderful journey in the news. We have a bit of MCU Weekly, talking a little bit about Wonder Man and the Thor a little bit in Avengers Doomsday. Then we got a bit of MovieTalk Madness. The trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu dropped today, so we will be talking about that, as well as a couple other updates on various franchises. And then finally, the thing that nobody wants to talk about, but we have to talk about it anyways, to keep you guys updated on the world of pop culture, is once again yet another wonderful story about this damn bidding war between Netflix and Paramount in regards to Warner Brothers Discovery. Yes, we will be talking about it yet again. Aren't you excited? I know I'm excited, he said sarcastically. And then, of course, we get into our quick hits. A lot of different quick hits. We got box office quick hits, TV quick hits, production update quick hits, casting quick hits, as well as the fact that we will probably never get a good Silent Hill or Resident Evil movie in our lifetimes. Oh well. But then, of course, we slide into DCU Daily with DC Quick Hits. And then, finally, to top it all off, we have a segment that is a favorite among many. That's What Did Gunn Say? Well, unless you're a Snyder fan, but they're not real people anyway, so it's fine. So, all of that and more, let's get into the show proper and talk about the news.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Welcome to the news, guys. Here we are. We're here to talk about all sorts of things that people are interested in, as well as things people are very much not interested in. I'm John. Lovely to see you guys. And then, of course, we have Dan. Dan is also here. Dan,
Hello.
are you excited to talk about another day of Warner Brothers Discovery's bidding bullshit? I think that's what we should start calling it.
We'll walk through it. I'll talk you guys through it, and let's just say not all of it was unexpected what happened today. But yeah, by the way, I am a Snyder fan, so not all.
I was more so talking about Snyder cultists,
the cultists,
but that's okay. But Elite
hello,
Z in the chat, Monique is in the chat, Decole's
Happy
in the
Lunar
chat.
Happy Lunar New Year, by the way.
Yes, happy
everybody.
Lunar New Year. Caleb in the chat, and then
Yep.
Enterprising, already really exhausted, also in the chat.
Yeah.
Also,
And by the way, I did want to quickly point out. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go.
well, yeah, Fancast
Yeah.
Friday thing. I assume that. Sorry, I stole your thunder. Why don't you?
No,
talk
it's all
about it?
good.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's all cool. Fancast Friday, the poll is up. You guys can vote for it now.
There you go.
The link
You
is in the
guys can
chat.
vote for it. Vote for all the options that I totally know what they are, like the first one or the second one, whatever they are. Anyway, unfortunately,
Hint.
a bit of unexpected stuff.
Before we get into the news proper, I did want to also point out, since we pointed out happy Lunar New Year, if you are practicing Muslim, though, it's also tomorrow the start of Ramadan, so blessings to you on that as well. And of course, to everybody who celebrates the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, happy New Year to you. So just wanted to, and yeah, of course, it's Black History Month, John. We'll have Tier List Tuesday coming up with your pick after the show. Black supervillains. We did the superheroes last week. You guys voted for the supervillains. So, but yeah, we've got a Fancast Friday poll up on the channel. Go check it out.
So
yeah,
although unfortunately, speaking of Black History Month, we did actually lose a major, leader for Black movement with Jesse Jackson. The civil rights leader was 84. Unfortunately, just like yesterday, we lost the late great Robert Duvall, and now we have lost Jesse Jackson today, which is definitely a mighty big loss in regards to everything in regards to that movement. So
not only just because I mean he was a father, he was a friend, he was a civil rights leader, he was a husband, and more than just so more than just a public figure,
right? More than just that, yeah.
But as a public figure, obviously significant part of the civil rights movement. He was a 2-time presidential nominee. That's pretty epic. There's some insane speeches that he did. Like he had a speech at like the biggest protest ever held in London. Just some of the achievements that he had throughout the course of his life are amazing when you look through it. And of course, he also got the Presidential Medal of Freedom a while ago. So he will be remembered, and Jesse Jackson, of course, left a mark not only on the world as a whole, but certainly, on the entertainment industry as well, which is why we wanted to kind of pay our respects here. So to the friends, family, and of course, anybody and everybody who has, fought for civil rights in the U.S. and abroad. Our best wishes go out to you as we mourn the passing and the loss of Jesse Jackson, who was 84 years of age and leaves a legacy behind that will never be forgotten. So
absolutely. Just a bit of a shame and kind of a solemn note to start on, much like yesterday, but of course, got to pay the respects as always. But let's move on to maybe some bigger and brighter things, and that is going into MCU stuff. MCU stuff.
By the way, before we do that, I just wanted to say hello, Hunter Iggy. Did see you in the chat, so thank you for tuning in. We'll get to the Warner Brothers stuff in a minute, but let's talk about Marvel. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about speaking of Black History Month. We got Wonder Man, but not great news for Wonder Man. It's apparently slipping down the streaming charts, and what does that mean for season 2?
If you, by the way, if you scroll down here, and thank you for paying your respects, Enterprising, to the passing of Jesse Jackson, of course. But Black History Month, Wonder Man dropped earlier, and I will continue to evangelize how good the show is, and potentially one of the best, not just one of the best, but I feel like maybe the best Marvel show ever on Disney Plus. So this report from comicbookmovie.com was basically pointing out, Flix Patrol, they track all these numbers, viewership numbers on the different streaming services like Disney Plus. And on the global top 10 in the TV shows for Disney Plus, currently Wonder Man, as of the writing of this article, was sitting in 4th place. And in the US, it's dropped from 2nd place to the 5th place. And it's not number 1 in any country. That being said, I mean, it started the week number 2 in Canada and is now number 7. In the UK, it went from number 4 to number 9. But while you might think that's a bad thing, you got to remember, guys, here's the thing. Wonder Man dropped all of its 8 episodes in one go, right? So generally, kind of like with Netflix shows, when they do that, not all of them do it anymore. They'll do it in like multiple parts. But Netflix shows that also drop everything at once and you can binge them all. Generally what happens is they will do really well when, the week that they drop, and then they'll start sliding down because other new things come out. So it's not entirely unexpected. And when you look at once again, the ratings for this show in terms of the audience reception, the critic reception, the word of mouth is insanely good. So while on the surface you might feel like, Disney just dumped this, like Marvel Studios just dumped the show on Disney Plus and they wanted to forget about it. I mean, I don't think that was necessarily the case. I also talked about a week ago, the show it doesn't quite lend itself to a weekly release. Like, when WandaVision was coming out, people were theorizing there were Easter eggs and all kinds of things. There was like a mystery at the end of each episode. Wonder Man doesn't quite play out like that. So I don't know if it would have really benefited from, dropping weekly. And then if they had dropped 8 episodes a week, most likely what would have happened is it would have overlapped a little bit with Daredevil Born Again season 2 starting out in a few weeks now. So that also would have been, probably a bad idea, because what you don't want to do is run into another show that likely will draw away your own audience. So Marvel didn't want to cannibalize, their own fans, attention. So I get that. Now that all of that being said, there is something to be worried about, in the sense that when you look at the total number of minutes viewed, Echo, which by the way released on Hulu, in its first 6 days of release, had 731 million views or viewing minutes, whereas so far in the first 10 days, Wonder Man, according to this article here in comicbookmovie.com, has garnered 549.6 million viewing minutes. Now that's 10 days and less views in 10 days than Echo got in 7 days. And, people thought Echo was, again, dumped the show, kind of forgot about it. But also Echo was, they were both Marvel Spotlight series, so like meant to be these prestige shows. And I thought Echo got a pretty good reception. It was a pretty good show. It actually didn't get that much marketing, and I feel like Wonder Man, they did a better job with the viral marketing campaign that they did. So I want to say this. I think Wonder Man is doing just fine. In fact, if you're thinking about like, oh, these numbers are not good, are we going to get a season 2 or not? The big difference here is the audience reception, the word of mouth, the critic reception, everything is super positive. So kind of like what we talked about with Superman last year. It didn't do as well at the box office as some of us expected. It did a lot better than what some of us expected. But, we were going into it, we were like, they're really getting behind this thing. Maybe it can beat out Man of Steel's numbers, but it's just the box office isn't quite what it used to be. And people have a higher bar right now for what they consider to be good superhero storytelling, because they've seen so much. It's kind of like we have done everything before, we have seen everything before. Give us something new. And I feel like Wonder Man really did that. And certainly something different, if not something new. So I would say it bodes well for the show if we're going to get a season 2, just based on how well it's been received, and those viewership numbers aren't that far off. Plus, I believe Echo was not only available on Disney Plus but also on Hulu. It was primarily dumped on Hulu or released on Hulu, and then it also aired, on broadcast television on ABC for a little bit. So we'll see. I think Wonder Man is doing just fine. So I just wanted to point that out. If you are worried about Wonder Man and whether it's going to get a season 2 or not, first, I think it's too early to tell. But despite the fact that it's sliding a little bit down the rankings, the streaming rankings on Disney Plus, according to Flix Patrol, I think largely right now an effect of having dropped all of its episodes at once for a binge release. And the fact that it's been received so well, I think it will have legs like movies do at the box office. So we'll circle back to this in a few weeks' time. And if it's still sort of hanging out in the top 10, top 15 even, while Daredevil Born Again is releasing, and you got other things coming out, like, sooner than... Well, I mean, it's not going to be on streaming, but The Mandalorian and Grogu will be out, so I'm sure as a result of that, The Mandalorian's 3 seasons will probably move up the list, because people will be catching up if they haven't already, because they want to go see the movie. So we'll see how Wonder Man does around that time. So, right. Yeah, I think season 2 still, I would, if I was somebody, which I am, I'm looking forward to a potential season 2. I want to see more Wonder Man. I want to see more Trevor Slattery. I want to see more Simon Williams. So I personally think right now it's on the up and up. I'm looking forward to seeing a season 2. And if not a season 2, then hopefully Wonder Man shows up elsewhere, whether it's a movie or, in an Avengers thing or some kind of other crossover. Or maybe, maybe do a crossover with another Marvel TV show. I don't know how he would show up in Daredevil per se, but something like that would be nice too. Hit the like Enterprising is telling y'all. Thank you so much for that. And of course, hello M2G coming in saying, when these cheap shows not on Netflix like Wonder Man and Peacemaker chart at all, it's a win. Exactly. I mean, they shot the entirety of Wonder Man with a much smaller budget than the average Marvel show has had in the past, and they shot it all pretty much in LA. That that's something unique today, because most everything that Marvel does, at least on the movie side, is being done in the UK because of the tax credits. They're shooting most of the Daredevil and Defender shows out on the East Coast in New York. So, and at a time when LA production is down as a whole and keeps on going down, as you know, a percentage of what's being shot by Hollywood studios in LA. It's good to see that Marvel did something like this, and genuinely, you know, Marvel avoided a lot of the pitfalls that they had with their other shows, where, you know, you go for a big CGI VFX heavy finale, or you're like, you know, you feel like by the penultimate episode they still have like a million unresolved, you know, story threads they gotta, you know, somehow find a way to tie up together at the end of the final episode. This just felt more balanced, well written. It felt like a proper TV show. And while you might think that's a low bar to clear for a TV show on streaming that's meant to be like prestige or semi-prestige, that's where Marvel Studios were for a long time, and I'm so glad that now, you know, that they've sort of like, again, differentiated a little bit. You got Marvel Studios that does mostly movies, pretty much only movies. They have Marvel Television, the current new Marvel Television. You've got Marvel Animation doing the animated shows, and you can really see that, you know, now there's people in place and the right talent doing the right kind of work. And as a result of that enterprising, Wonder Man has been a breath of fresh air. So I'm looking forward to seeing
Or
season
as
2.
enterprising saying, a breathe of fresh air. So
Yeah. Yeah. You guys let us know in the comments down below. What do you think? Would you like to see a season 2 of Wonder Man? We'd love to know what you think about it. Okay, but John, we got to talk about Thor. Walk us through this, because this is interesting. Of course, he's been promoting Crime 101 everywhere, Chris Hemsworth, but people keep asking him about Thor. So
no, I mean, yeah, that's the big thing with Doomsday coming out, and that's his biggest role to date. Remember when they had Thor and eyeliner? Good times. Anyway, so in terms of the future of what they have for Thor as a character, they said it's been so much fun, and what I've really enjoyed it, unlike a lot of what the other characters that the actors were given, they have had to be pretty consistent, whereas working with Taika Waititi on his film versus Kenneth Branagh with those films, and then with the Russos, all the films had quite a different sort of tonal opinion. But the Russos also let me try different things. It's the same with my tattoos. I'd be getting really bored with the same thing and having a real need to kind of throw the performance in different directions. I was talking to Kevin Feige about it, and he said it's cool because the audience now expects dramatic turns with the character, and whatever we do next, we've got some ideas to do something pretty unique again, and hopefully be different. So
yeah. Well, I mean, John, the headline here leads with the idea of like, oh, we know Thor's going to stick around, you know, for a while now. Of course, Chris Hemsworth has mentioned that he probably won't be acting till he's 90 in general, because, you know, there's some health concerns that he has had, he's found out about in recent years. So, and he also wants to spend time with his family. I understand. I mean, he's made all the money in the world. He continues to do well for himself. But then there was a lot of speculation. Remember, he posted this like video sort of like as a tribute, like, thank you to everybody. This has been an amazing experience and blah, blah, blah. Last year when they were filming Doomsday, and people were like, oh, hold up. Is Thor not going to survive Avengers Doomsday? Because, you know, is he going to be in Secret War? Now, here's the thing. That could still be true. But Chris Hemsworth ain't telling you anything different. If anything, what he said here in this latest interview, he's talking as if, you know, he's had those. I mean, I'll believe him, you know, until we find out any different, that he has had conversations with Kevin Feige about, well, where do we go with the character after these Avengers movies? We have done so many different things, and that seems to be what attracts him to the character. I mean, I understand. After doing it for like a dozen movies, even like Hugh Jackman was like, I'm done unless, I mean, he got to do something very different with his version of Wolverine that we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine, and that was something that he pushed for. So I get like Chris Hemsworth he feels like, you know, the interest level that he has in continuing to playing Thor is still there, because they've been able to sort of evolve the character in so many different ways, for the good, bad, and the ugly. But I, for one, love seeing that, you know, they've got some unique ideas for the character, with the implication being that hopefully Thor will still be around after Avengers Secret Wars. And again, these days when an actor says something about their character, you can like kind of take it with a grain of salt, because you never know. Marvel, you know, with the NDAs and stuff, and Andrew Garfield and all that stuff with the amazing, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home. But until we find out any differently, I'm just glad that Chris Hemsworth is talking about Thor, not just in the past tense or in the present tense, but also looking forward to the future of the character. So, yeah, I mean, Figure Drawing Hello, by the way, while I totally understand what you're saying, that Marvel is potentially planning a total reboot. I mean, Kevin Feige last year, when he did that whole press event talk the lead up to the Fantastic Four, he sort of mentioned that it wouldn't necessarily be a hard reboot because they're really careful and they still find it kind of tricky to like reboot everything. There's certain characters that like he's hesitant to reboot as is. I'm gonna imagine that might be like Captain America, which I mean I guess you could say that's already evolved. But like Iron Man, are we gonna get a new Iron Man? Like there's some characters he hinted at that might not get rebooted. But yeah, I mean actors do age out. But here's the thing. I don't think Chris Hemsworth is aged out of Thor. Like the dude still looks jacked and massive and perfect as Thor.
The roids will do that to you.
Right. Well, I mean Hugh Jackman's still doing it with Wolverine, and that's definitely a part of the equation. I would love to see Beta Ray Bill, by the way, enterprising. I just don't know how soon we get that. That would be the natural evolution. Maybe that's what they do. They introduce Beta Ray Bill in like the 5th Thor movie, potentially after the 2 Avengers films, and then that might be like a way to transition our Thor out of the picture. Or maybe we'll get an arc down the road where Love has grown up, and then Thunder sort of, I don't know, like there's a I would love to see some kind of like Logan-esque movie where it's like Love and Thor sort of doing their thing and then giving Thor a proper send-off. For realsies.
Yeah, if I were to take a guess, it would probably be Love taking the reins. Hopefully she gets a better fucking name because it's a stupid name. But I don't think they're going to do Beta Ray Bill because that would be a lot of CGI. That would be a lot of mocap. That would be a lot of extra stuff that they don't want to deal with. So they're like, let's just give it to the girl instead. Because they already fucked over like Jane Foster becoming fucking Thor. And they screwed that up, so it's like, okay, what are we gonna do next? Well, we have this other character that can essentially be the new Thor, and that's about it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing more Thor. I don't want Chris Hemsworth. He's gonna be the only OG Avenger left. I mean, I know
Thor
that
for more Thor.
I know that Jeremy Renner's open to coming back and continuing to play Hawkeye, so there's that. I guess we'll have two of them still walking about. Hey Pluto, hello. Kevin never doing Beta Ray Bill. That Ragnarok Easter egg is the most we'll ever get. Yeah, we'll see. I guess like it's once they do like a bit of a reboot, like there may be more of a room for them to expand where they kind of feel like they're boxed in a little bit right now. So we'll see. But hello Movie Spud. Thank you for joining in. But John, now we move on from MCU Weekly. You guys let us know what you think about the Thor sticking around after Secret Wars. But we got to talk about some MovieTalk Madness. Remember how at the Super Bowl they dropped this riff on an old, I think, like a Budweiser commercial. Basically, it was a Mandalorian and Grogu teaser disguised as a riff on an old Budweiser commercial, and everybody was like, "What the literal fuck?" Like we wanted to see a proper Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, or at least like a teaser that says full trailer online now. Nothing like that happened. And all we got was this bit of a parody, which I guess got the conversation going, but also not necessarily the best kind of conversation, because all the internet was like, what was that? Like, you have 7 years since the last Star Wars movie was in theaters. You need this one to work. Why are you playing with our emotions? And well, now, John, we've got a full trailer, a proper trailer. And I think actually, if you go to the Lucasfilm website, they did a whole press release around it with the trailer release. There's a poster. We can maybe take a look at a poster real quick. I particularly like the poster because, again, to me, it feels like they're going back to the core of what made The Mandalorian great, which is, of course, that father-son bond.
Make The Mandalorian great again.
This is the way. This is the way. This. Not only that, John, not only is the poster the way, dude, let's talk about the trailer for a second, because this trailer, I'm like, yes, this is the way. They give you that classic Star Wars theme from John Williams. You get to see TIE fighters. You get to see some of the fun physical humor with Grogu and Mandalorian, and You get to see the use of the force powers that Grogu has. He even holds a lightsaber, like not like opened up and working, but like he's got one in his hand, and then Mandalorian pulls it away. You get to see Din Djarin's like helmet taken off. He's going after the Hutt. We know that is gonna be Jeremy Allen. Sorry, what's his name? Jeremy whatever from the Bear. Jeremy Allen White, like he's playing Jabba Hutt's son. Sigourney Weaver is in this as a former Rebel pilot. And the best thing about this trailer, I'll tell you right now, the best thing about this trailer for me that completely was like brought me on board this movie. I watched it back twice and I was like, okay, this by the way is thank you, Pluto. This by the way is the core of this franchise. Something like thematically, Jon Favreau understands what this is all about. Because especially if they have plans to do more than one movie, which would depend on the success of this one. Here's the thing. In this trailer, there's a piece of voiceover from Din Djarin, played by Pedro Pascal, Pedro Daddy, America's daddy, whatever, where he says he's gonna live on for hundreds of years. Like he's gonna live beyond me. I have to make sure that he can take care of himself. And I'm like, you know what? The theme of like fatherhood and what that means, that has been the core of The Mandalorian as a sub-franchise of Star Wars since the beginning. And they finally said the quiet thing out loud. And I feel like that here is the best part of the whole trailer. It's underrated because I think a lot of people might miss it. There's a lot of action and some cool, fun, Star Warsy stuff. But I'm just gonna say it out loud, John. To me, literally the best part about this trailer was that we addressed the idea, like, here's Din Djarin, like, and it just kind of hit me. I'm like, here's Din Djarin. He's done his best to try to like give Grogu, everything that he needs to become a Jedi Master, or with the training. And we got Luke Skywalker coming in season 2 and stuff like that, and everything that's happened since. And now he's got like the little armor from season 3 of the show.
They need to sell the kids to sell the fucking movie. So,
but again, beyond just the selling toys and merchandise and everything else, or having Pedro Pascal in it and blah blah blah, I'm like, I understand. I totally get where they're going with this. I now believe in Jon Favreau to get this right, because he understands the theme at the core of the story, which is very relatable. Like, this is the way. Like, that's what I was like, this is the way. It's the idea of this is the father trying to like teach his son like how to live his life, or survive, because he knows he'll be gone well before. I mean, usually for a lot of fathers, that'd be the idea, that you will not be around and your son will grow up, and so you want to make sure they're ready for the life ahead. In this case, it's a little more extreme, because Grogu, will probably live for hundreds of years. So
Star Wars film to be released in 7 years, with the fucking pop culture icon that's been taking the world by storm for the past like 4 or 5. I don't know how long Mandalorian's been on.
I agree with
like seriously, yeah. Like really, Pedro Pascal mixed with cute puppet thing that everybody is like fucking like fawning over and thinks is like the cutest thing ever. Like, come on, this thing, I don't know if it's gonna hit 1 billion, but it's not gonna fucking bomb. This thing is not like, no way. It's Star Wars. Like fucking Rise of Skywalker made 1 billion. Anything is possible, all right? And that movie's dog shit.
There's this one shot in this where Grogu does like a little like salute thing. I'm like, oh, they got all the cute stuff in this. You have no idea how much like this movie has all the ingredients. And Jon Favreau has said this is not going to feel like the TV show, because they've got a bigger budget. They're making this thing like a movie. They're not doing everything in the volume, I believe, is the implication there. I want to see what this turns into. John, I am excited for this. After watching this trailer, my hype for this went from 5 out of 10 to now a good 8 out of 10. And they've got a little bit of time for me to get to 10 out of 10. But like I said,
this is definitely,
are there.
I don't think this is going to make 1 billion. I would say, on the safe side, 500 to 600 million, but I could definitely see this hitting 800 million.
Dude, it's in the summer box office has the leeway, the runway. It comes out in May 22nd. May 22nd, that means it's got a full month before Supergirl comes out. I know there's like a few other movies coming out in between. You've got some animated kids movies, like, you know,
I
oriented
think Mortal
movies.
Kombat 2 is coming out then too.
Is it the same weekend? Let me take a quick look. May 22nd. I'm gonna scroll down on I mean, the only other movie coming out the same weekend is I Love Boosters, which is clearly counter programming. It's not really targeting the same audience. Mortal Kombat 2 comes out May 8th, so it would have been 2 weeks away. Already 2 weeks, behind, and that, or ahead of it. And then The Devil Wears Prada comes out May 1st. That would be in its third weekend of release.
I could see this hitting 600 million.
I mean, and dude, here's the thing: Masters of the Universe doesn't come out till June 5th. That's 2 weekends that The Mandalorian and Grogu will have to potentially win the box office. Like, nothing comes out in May 29th.
Kids bring families. And also you have like the losers that live in their mom's basements that still love Star Wars unapologetically. So there's that
As
too.
they should. It's totally, and that's completely fine. Unless you're talking about the keyboard warriors.
Grogu, and guess what? Yeah. It's gonna win because of this little green motherfucker. Like, really? It's gonna win because of a fucking janky ass puppet. And you know what? They like Star Wars. They know their audience, so it's like, come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, John, that I agree with you in terms of your initial estimates. I am hyped because I think this trailer was everything that no other trailer teaser that we have seen for this up to this point was. This trailer was everything it needed to be, and to me, it just hit right. I was like, this is the way. They finally got The Mandalorian back to its season 1, season 2 highs. It's just a trailer. The movie could still suck, to be fair, but I want to say, like, if I was guessing right now, I would say this movie's, floor just went to like $400-500 million.
Hey, there's some dudes that love Pedro. Come on, now.
And then from there, look, like you said, John, this is the first theatrical Star Wars movie since 2019. There's a huge Star Wars audience. There's only 2 Star Wars movies that have not made $1 billion. Those were Rogue One, which still made a shit ton of money, and Solo, which, while it was a bit of a flop, it was the only flop ever in Star Wars. So, and even that was before The Rise of Skywalker. So The Rise of Skywalker, like I said, made $1 billion despite everything that, that people say is wrong with it, which is true. So I think, look, the Mandalorian and Grogu can completely fall on its face. But the marketing team certainly did the job with this trailer. That's what I'm going to say. And I'm looking forward to it. The whole father-son, bonding. It's just, this is the way. Count me in. I'm going to be watching this movie as soon as it comes out. And I'm sure a lot of other people were saying the same thing today. So, yeah. But with that, John, we're gonna move on. You talk about this one because I know you're a bigger fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise than I am.
It has recently been revealed that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is now the second big horror franchise to go to A24, the first being Friday the 13th, as they are currently working on a Camp Crystal Lake right now, starring Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees. And that's going to be, I think, on Peacock, I think that's where it's going to be, if I remember correctly. Anyway, so now Texas Chainsaw Massacre has now gone to A24. It's being co-produced by, I think, Barnstore is Glenn Powell's production company, and it's going to be... It is
Peacock, by the way, yep.
Okay.
You're right, yeah.
So then with all of that, JT Molnar, who recently wrote... the Long Walk adaptation, as well as directed and wrote the critical cult classic, modern classic of Strange Darling. I was rather unimpressed with it, but most people really liked it. So now Glenn Powell is being asked on whether or not he is going to portray the titular character, and don't get too excited if you would be excited for Glenn Powell playing Leatherface, because he's like, let's not get in there. Anyway, but he has said, I mean, as a Texan, he says Texas Chainsaw is, I think, one of the most brilliant horror movies. It defined the genre and really was such a part of that era. A24 is a place that's really making such special things. We just really talked to the rights holders, JT Molnar, and some other creatives around it. They're so passionate about what we're doing. They really, they have a really strong vision. Everybody around it really cares. I care about it. Everybody cares about it. I know we're going to do something special with it, so I'm feeling very, very good. It was a long process to get there, but I know we have something really fun ahead. Will I play Leatherface? You never know, but as of now, I really think it's probably just something for Barnstorm. Sorry, not Barnstorm, Barnstorm to produce, but I'm definitely going to be very involved. So, with all of that, don't get too pumped with, Glenn Powell playing Leatherface. I mean, to be fair, that's probably for the best. The last time we got a guy who, played a hot Leatherface was in the movie Leatherface, which was apparently very, very bad. So, it's probably for the best that Glenn Powell does not play that character. Because a lot of people seem to forget that Leatherface was not the titular character of these movies. He just kind of became that because he was the guy in the mask. And then eventually when, things like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, like guys disfigured or in masks, Leatherface then became kind of the face of the franchise. Then eventually Tobe Hooper made part 2, which was, some people like it, some people don't. And then eventually the third movie was called Leatherface, and he became eventually more of that titular face of the franchise, even though the franchise is really about the families. The Saw is family. That's like the whole point of it. They did family before, Fast and Furious. So I hope it's more about the Sawyer family, that contingent, rather than just Leatherface. I wouldn't want Glenn Powell to play Leatherface. I think, plus he would be under a mask the whole time, so I don't think it really means to say anything. But anyway, I'm excited for this. It seems like Glenn Powell is actually very excited about this. He seems very passionate about it. He's making it seem like there's hype around this. So, enough fucking talking about Star Wars in the goddamn chat. We're talking about more important things, and that's motherfucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre, okay? Fuck Star Wars. Get Star Wars out of the chat. We're here to talk about the greatness of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, damn it. The greatness of A24 and the greatness of Glenn Powell. So, come on, guys. Talk about Texas Chainsaw. Jesus. Anyway, this sounds good. Just don't have Glenn Powell play Leatherface. And it doesn't sound like he wants to play Leatherface. Pretty sure he's just going to take out that producer role, as he mentioned. So, fuck off, Caleb. Everybody cares about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just, they haven't had a good movie in like 40 years, but that's fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. But shut up. Anyway, it's better than Star Wars. Fuck off. But speaking of big IPs, maybe this'll tickle your scrot. The Last Ronin R-rated movie gets a positive update from TMNT co-creator. So after, David Ellison, since he hates making money and decided to kibosh The Last Ronin, we've got a little bit of an update. Entertainment Weekly has confirmed that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Roninverse will continue to expand this year with The Last Ronin Training Day. The prequel comic puts the spotlight back on Michelangelo. The Last Ronin revealed that Mikey was the last surviving member of the four heroes in a half shell and followed him as he attempted to avenge the deaths of his brothers, set in a future inspired by, Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. He squared off against Shredder's grandson, the new leader of the Foot Clan. Spoiler alert, Michelangelo died, but a prequel/sequel series, The Last Ronin: The Lost Years, explored his dark transformation. The sequel part of the story featured a new group of turtles, Odin, Moja, Uno, and Yi, who emerge under the tutelage of Sensei Casey Marie Jones, the daughter of Casey Jones and April O'Neil, and so much more. Last Ronin 2, Last Ronin 3, and now, with this Last Ronin Training Day, we'll expand on Mikey's relationship with Casey Marie. While we were going through what he called the Roninverse, there were so many back alleys and stories and things that we couldn't fit into the 200 pages that we had. From Kevin Eastman, one of the ones was just having Michelangelo spend time with Casey Marie Jones. Mikey could see the spark, and he could see the light, and he could see the beauty in what Casey Marie Jones felt and wanted to believe in. He wanted to lean into Splinter's journal of what he trained and what he learned from that, and directing towards the protector of the city thing, which the Turtles originally grew into. So He also says this: I don't think the movie's off the table. I think it's just delayed. Speaking with all the folks at Viacom and Paramount and Nickelodeon who love the Turtles and really have done a fantastic job, whether it be with the 2012 series to Mutant Mayhem, I don't think it will not happen. I think it will happen. One of the things that anybody I've talked to at the companies, they know the fans love and support all things Last Ronin as much as another group of fans love everything Point Grey, Pictures, production company, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Everything's done. Everybody's done with the whole Mutant Mayhem series. We're not disheartened at all. So it was last November when we learned that a new live-action TMNT movie is in the works. Neil H. Moritz, who Channing Tatum famously called out about the reason why we have not gotten a 23 Jump Street, because he's, a greedy asshole, is overseeing the project for Paramount, so that's probably not that great. The idea is supposedly to Sonicify the franchise. Ilya Nashuler, who directed the original Nobody, had been in talks to direct The Last Ronin, though we recently learned that the new regime wasn't keen on having the first non-animated movie in 10 years be a bloody, adult-skewing story. It's also being confirmed that Judith Hoag, who played April in the original 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, was in talks to reprise her role. So yes, we might not be getting The Last Ronin soon, but we do have another comic book for you to feast your eyes on. So if you want to go read that, that will be coming out soon in July. So still no movie, but hey, we got a little bit more in regards to this universe.
Yeah, no, I'm excited that there's hope for this movie, because I know we were all sort of just, I don't know, like heads down, disappointed. Like, why would they cancel The Last Ronin? Because you talk about, like, how can a franchise reinvent itself when, here in this instance, we have seen a million different iterations from movies to TV shows to animated stuff and, comics and everything in between of TMNT. Like the Ninja Turtles, like, how do you go about, especially at least in the mainstream, because obviously those of us who know about the Last Ronin, it's been around for a while as a story and we love it. That's why we want to see it. But like, if you're looking at a mainstream movie, that's one amazing way to reinvent the characters for the mainstream audience who may not be aware of this story. And it really puts the Turtles in a different light that we're not used to. And sure, maybe it's not going to be for the kids, it's not going to be for the family audiences, but there's always room for a Logan while you make a trilogy of X-Men movies, right? Like Fox found that out. I mean, the Fox made Deadpool and Logan. They were both rated R, two very different kinds of rated R. So it's been proven now that you can do something like this and have it be incredibly successful if done right. So I do hope that The Last Ronin, like the creator here is telling us, the co-creator, I hope we get it. I hope that there's still yet hope in the halls of Paramount, and that studio needs all the, movies and movie ideas and finished scripts and everything that they can get their hands on, because right now they're nowhere near hitting their, annual production goal. And well, if they're going to get a Warner Brothers, merger going, then you got to at least run the studio you already own well. You know what I mean? Like, before you go out buying a studio that's already 3 times your size. So, but yeah, I just hope that we get it sooner than later. But yeah, we will see, as they say. You guys let us know what you think about the idea. The Last Ronin movie may not be dead after all. It may just be, sort of simmering on the fringes until it's revived somewhere down the line, at least according to the co-creator of the TMNT. So yeah, love to hear your thoughts. But John, with that, MTG saying Zack Snyder could do the last ruining Batman Returns Batman Returns style, then we can get him. Oh, well, no, I think he would prefer to do the Dark Knight Returns style, to be fair. But yeah, let's move on. We're going to talk about the WBD Bidding War. So, John, earlier today, I woke up and I saw all the news headlines, slowly kind of trickle in. And then all of a sudden, it went from a trickle to, just a full-blown monsoon of headlines. And as it turns out, Warner Brothers Discovery they have now officially re-engaged with Paramount on a potential final or best and final offer that Paramount has been saying they haven't put out there yet. And after weeks of lobbying, with regulators and like saying we are the best deal and Netflix, won't get approved, and just having that, hostile takeover offer out there, which by the way, a very small percentage of the Warner Brothers Discovery investors actually have tendered their shares. So right now, while that is still out there, there's no way Paramount is going to win, Warner Brothers through that route. They needed to engage, Warner Brothers Discovery Board proper to get anywhere. The problem was they already had a deal in place with Netflix. They still do. So it's not like, oh yes, I'm just going to talk to you while I'm engaged to this other, it's not quite how that works. There's business contracts, there's legal penalties. So here's what happened today. There's a lot to get into, and I'll kind of go through it. I think actually I'll read a lot of the article here in Deadline because they do a good job of summarizing it. So let's talk about it. Of course, now Paramount, as you see in the headline here on Deadline, they have 7 days. Paramount have now got a week, and that's been dictated by Warner Brothers Discovery. They've given Paramount 1 week to provide them or work with them to negotiate their best and final offer. And this is their last chance, the last hurrah that Paramount has to completely woo and win over Warner Brothers. And you might be wondering, well, how's Netflix letting this happen? Well, the reason why Netflix is letting this happen is because they agreed with Warner Brothers under the terms of their agreement to put out a waiver. Basically, they're saying for these 7 days, you can go and talk to Paramount and see what they have to offer. That being said, the contract that Netflix has with Warner Brothers includes, includes Netflix's right to match any offer they get from another party, aka whatever Paramount does offer, even if it is their best and final offer, Netflix can match it. So that's something to keep in mind. But hey, it feels like, the bidding war is back on, because at least we're going to get one offer from Paramount, and then probably Netflix will counter it to match it at the very minimum. Now, if you scroll down here in the article, John, I'm just going to kind of walk through a little bit. So stick with me here, and I promise we won't get too into the weeds of it. Actually, if you can go back to the previous article and just scroll down a little bit, I want to kind of read through some of the lines there. And if you could zoom in a little bit. So, so Netflix basically put out a statement saying that they've granted a narrow 7-day waiver to fully and finally resolve this matter. Kind of, the wording is a little bit, how would you say it? Like a little demeaning, or like they're like, yeah, we want to get this out of the way so we can move forward. We want Paramount to finally like have their day in court, or proverbial court, and then so that we can then move on, because they're just like messing around here, and they're causing all these headlines, and it's causing like government regulators and senators and other government officials around the world to come after us, and like basically that's the implication here that Netflix is making. But they have given a 7-day window to Warner Brothers to go and figure out what Paramount truly has to offer as their best and final offer. So that's the one big thing. Now let's move on from this article, John, if you scroll to the next one for a moment, because you got to wonder, right? Like what does Paramount think right now? Where's their head at? Now, Paramount, of course, responded to Warner Brothers Discovery Board saying that, yeah, we will engage with you by saying, look, we will engage with you, Warner Brothers Discovery, said Paramount, in good faith, and try to negotiate this, but having already had 8 offers rebuffed before, with the latest one that's currently out there being the 9th offer. So like, basically Warner Brothers Discovery rejected that offer. So now technically Paramount will be working on their 10th offer. Paramount is saying, look, we will engage with you in good faith, but we will still move ahead with our hostile takeover offer. We will still try to do the proxy fight for the annual shareholder meeting later this year. Now, having said all of that, I do want to point out, while Warner Brothers Discovery Board announced all of this, they also said they've set a special meeting on March 20th, I believe, to vote on the Netflix deal. And the board currently, while they renegotiate with Paramount, they're still recommending all shareholders to vote for the Netflix deal. So as of right now, if nothing changes with that Paramount negotiating window, there will be a vote on March 20th, And everybody, the majority of the shareholders right now still seem to be favoring Netflix. They haven't tendered their shares to Paramount. So it's still an uphill battle for Paramount. Netflix is still firmly in the driver's seat, but they're saying 7 days, go figure this out. Do you really love Paramount? Figure this out. I will let you walk away with the engagement ring for 7 days. Think about it, and then come back in 7 days. If you feel like there's nothing else going on here, then we gotta move on. We're getting married on the 20th of March, and so you got 7 days to get figure out what you want. It's sort of like a plot of a rom-com or something like that. But let's keep on going here, John. We gotta go to the next headline as we walk through what everybody's saying. So Paramount, of course, saying we will work with you guys, Warner Brothers, but we will still continue to do what we are doing with our hostile takeover bid. Because I guess they're saying we're not quite sure if this is going to work out for us. That being said, according to a report in the New York Post, Paramount insiders at Paramount, who were sources for the New York Post article here, they're somehow growing more confident that as this negotiating window opens and plays out, that Warner Brothers Discovery will drop the Netflix bid. And you know what? The offer that Paramount has on the table right now includes covering the breakup fee, which is a few $billion. I think it's like $2.8 billion that Warner Brothers would have to pay Netflix to walk away from the deal. And Paramount is saying, we will pay that for you. So, I mean, there's no harm there for Warner Brothers. They're not having to put up the money for that. So I guess I understand why Paramount or some people within Paramount might feel confident about this. This article also hints that some of the leadership, folks, maybe not David Zaslav per se, but some of the other senior leadership folks at Warner Brothers in recent weeks with like the Senate hearings in the US and, other regulatory bodies around the world, the sentiment has been pretty negative towards Netflix as a potential monopoly. So they're starting to get worried and maybe getting cold feet that this Netflix thing might not actually go through, or it may take a lot longer, especially if the Department of Justice sues to stop the merger, which is what the previous Trump administration did to the Warner Brothers AT&T merger. Now, ultimately, AT&T still, made the merger happen. They won the lawsuit, so that being said, it got delayed by like a year or so, and it cost AT&T quite a bit of money because you've got all this like financing sitting out there collecting interest, and you have to pay money there. Like there's a cost to the time that it takes to closing this deal. So for Netflix, they are looking at that, and Warner Brothers, leadership may be thinking, I don't know, maybe Paramount has a point about getting this done faster, and it might, and imagine if Netflix has to walk away from it ultimately. Then what does Warner Brothers have? Because all they will have is a stock price that right now is sitting close to $30 per share, or if not even higher, depending on when you're watching this. Before all of this started, it was $12 a share. That's less than half. So the last thing Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders want is to end up holding the bag if Netflix has to walk away from the deal down the road. So I understand why Paramount might be thinking like, well, we might be in here with a chance. So let's keep on going here. John, we got a few more articles. I wanted to talk about, like, again, what all the parties are saying. Now, David Ellison himself wrote a letter to the Senate committee that Netflix, now the Senate committee is the same one that was grilling Ted Sarandos in Washington not too long ago. And David Ellison wrote a letter to them saying that the Netflix deal would quote unquote extinguish competition. And Paramount's the CEO's letter from David Ellison, it did not answer any queries about the president, but it's still, it's making the case that Netflix is already monopolistic, and by any reasonable measure, adding, the number 3 streamer in HBO Max or the number 1 streamer in Netflix is going to create even more of a monopoly. With Paramount, there's not going to be the same case. It just, Paramount and HBO Max come together, become a big competitor, a big player, but there still would be competing just directly with Disney, and probably still will have fewer subscribers than, definitely will have fewer subscribers than Netflix. So I understand, where they're coming from. Netflix would make the argument that, you've got Instagram, with doing shorts on TVs now. There's an app you can get on your smart TV for that. And YouTube is still the biggest player. So Netflix isn't really a monopoly when you look at all of those other competitors. Now, that being said, John, let's keep on going. There's a couple other links that I wanted to go through. Basically, Ted Sarandos, went on CNBC And hello, moderator Fiona. Hello, and thank you for the special member chat. Like and subscribe, everybody. Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of Netflix, who's really leading the way on this deal for Warner Brothers, he went on CNBC and did an interview. And as part of the interview, he was just saying, "Look, Paramount has been flooding the zone with confusion, so that's why we're like going through with this waivers. You got 7 days, like I said." Basically, Netflix and Warner Brothers are engaged to get married, but Netflix has given Warner Brothers 7 days to figure out if they still, have any feelings for Paramount. And if they don't, then after 7 days, it's over. Like we're going through the date for the vote is March 20th for the shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery to approve the deal. And so, that's the wedding date in this analogy. And well, Ted Sarandos, blaming Paramount for flooding the zone with confusion. I agree with that because like there's been just a lot of PR, like, everywhere from the Ellison team going to regulators in Europe and France and the UK to try to convince them that, Netflix is not a good, it's not a good deal for Netflix to merge with Warner Brothers. And because Netflix has an even bigger market share in streaming abroad than it does in the US, it makes sense in some ways. And of course, they've been putting on offer after offer. Their current offer has an expiration date till March 21st, which is literally the day after, Warner Brothers and Netflix have set the vote to approve their merger. So, yeah, it sounds like an episode of Love is Blind. Exactly. Thank you. I mean, look, enterprising, here's the thing. I wish Warner Brothers could just walk away from all of it. But I remember their share price right now is like $30 a share. They're going to get at least that, if not more, from either Netflix or Paramount ultimately when all is said and done. Before all this started, they were trading at $12 a share. So just keep that in mind. If you're a shareholder of Warner Brothers Discovery, you can lose out on a lot of money if none of these deals goes through. Hello, Snyder, 94 forever. So with that said, John, the bidding war is back on. If you go, there's the last link, just we can hold on that for a moment, because I would love to get your opinion on this. Ultimately, it looks like we have 1 week for Paramount to make an impression, to put out their best and final offer to try to convince Warner Brothers to, walk away from the Netflix deal. And Paramount has agreed to pay the breakup fee with Netflix, so it's not going to cost Warner Brothers anything. But all that said, John, here's the thing. Netflix has the right to match whatever Paramount puts out as their best and final offer. And if it is Netflix, it's because this is a bit of a PR, this is a bit of like, finding that this is all playing out in the public eye now, right? So just think about it for a moment. If Paramount puts out their best and final offer, Netflix matches it, they just move on. And now it's like Paramount's in the rear view window. They already put out their best and final offer. Like, what is David Ellison going to do? But that was not my best and final offer. I have another one. Like, please, it's, so my guess here is that whatever Paramount puts out there, they're going to stop short of calling it the best and final offer because they're going to want Netflix to then, match it. And then when Netflix matches it, then whatever the big number is that Paramount has in mind for their best and final offer, which could be going from $30 a share right now that they have to maybe 32, anywhere up to 35. And then they will try to blow Netflix out of the water because the Ellisons have more money. Then Netflix will be able to get financing, comfortably without their stock pricing crashing even further. So I personally think, whilst a lot of people might be thinking 7 days from now, this is all going to be over because Paramount would have given their final offer and then, Netflix would do what they got to do and then we move on. I don't think that's going to happen. I just think Warner Brothers Discovery, and they know this, I think David Zaslav knows this, they just reopen the floodgates on a bidding war because whatever offer Paramount puts out there, they're going to know that Netflix will match it. So they're not going to go super high, not much higher than where they already are. They're not going to call it their best and final offer because while Warner Brothers said that's what you need to give them, Paramount never responded by saying, oh, we will give you our best and final offer. They're saying we will negotiate with you in good faith. Two different things, So they're going to probably now enter into a phase where both companies are going to try to like outbid each other. And I guess the only definitive thing we have right now is the March 20th shareholder meeting for Warner Brothers, because once the shareholders vote to approve the Netflix deal, then it's really pretty much over unless the Netflix deal gets stuck in some kind of regulatory hurdle, and then they have to break it off, whether it's Netflix doing it or Warner Brothers doing it. And, and then I bet you Paramount would come swooping in and being like, we'll buy you for half the price. Like, how about that now? Like, that's where I see all of this going. I mean, I don't know, John, do you feel one way or the other about who's winning at this point? Is it Netflix or Paramount getting their hands on Warner Brothers?
I think Hollywood just needs to be nuked from orbit. I think that'll solve all of this.
Well, I think M2G's got the nail on the head here. Paramount just wasting everybody's time, stretching it out could scare away Netflix, so Warner Brothers just needs to force the best and final offer and shut it down due to Netflix's threat of leaving. That's a great point. I just don't know if that's what... Because Paramount has some leverage. The only thing Paramount is going to run up against as like a brick wall is that March 20th meeting, the shareholder meeting, where the deal for Netflix gets approved by the voters, and they haven't convinced nearly enough shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery to vote for Paramount and to take the Paramount offer right now, the hostile takeover offer. So I think Paramount will stretch this out as long as they can up until March 20th. And so while this is a 7-day window, I don't think this is going to be the end of Paramount trying to buy Warner Brothers. This will probably go on for at least another month. And we'll see who ultimately wins. I guess it just depends on how much Paramount is willing to go up, because they know they're the ones driving up the price. And if they plan on winning, then whatever price they're driving up to, they will be the ones paying it, not Netflix. So, and clearly Paramount is, still very determined. I mean, Netflix, they're playing it cool, but I bet you Netflix is also just like, a little bit concerned, because it's complicated enough, complex enough to try to make this thing happen without having a hostile takeover bid from another company that's constantly looming in the background. So we'll see where it goes from here, but you guys let us know. I mean, which way are you leaning? I feel like Paramount has opened the door here and they've got a chance, but given how they've negotiated so far, I don't think they're going to just give an offer that blows Netflix out of the water in the next 7 days. They could, but I think they're going to drag it out until March 20th when the Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders get to vote on this deal with Netflix to approve it. But, big on Netflix for giving a 7-day waiver to try to get this resolved. And let's be fair, Warner Brothers Discovery haven't exactly shut down Paramount so far. They've kind of let it be known on unofficial channels, that they will negotiate with Paramount if they raise their offer enough. And it seems like, Paramount hit that threshold. So we'll see what happens. We'll follow this story. Hopefully this time next week, we'll be talking about an update, but and hopefully a definitive one. But yeah, Paramount hasn't raised their offer yet. Yeah, it's exactly. There's just... Paramount is doing everything but raising their offer right now, but I think they're going to need to do something to raise the actual value of the offer within the next week. They probably still won't call it their best and final offer. And then we'll see what Netflix does. If they match it, then Paramount will probably at that point give their best and final offer. So that's my estimation. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about it. John is pretty much over this, as are a lot of you guys. But those of you who are interested, of course, keep an eye on the show. We will cover this story as it continues. So with that, John, I think we can move on to the quick hits, because
yes,
enough Hollywood business talk.
Anyway, so the first quick hit that we have, is in fact Wuthering Heights. Oh, which isn't bad. I mean, the movie's bad, but it's a win for Warner Brothers. That's nice. I'll take that.
Dude,
Warner
this is
Brothers
their
has
ninth
scored
consecutive.
the record
Wow.
9th consecutive #1 opening.
Wow.
As
Now, okay, this is not the same record as the, what was it, 7
it's
in
not
a row?
the same record as the $40 million one.
40 million plus. It's a different, but still 9 consecutive #1 openings
But
is a pretty...
what that Warner Brothers?
pretty
Why
good
the
deal.
fuck you want to sell? You're doing well. What the fuck's wrong with you? Come on, bro.
Well, I mean, you're talking millions here versus billions for the company. It's do different things, but I did see your comment, Hunter Iggy, and yeah, I know that you are in favor of Netflix buying Warner Brothers, Hunter, so I totally hear you on that. We'll see how it plays out over the course of the next week. But yeah, you know what? Warner Brothers isn't the only one winning at the box office, John. It's only February 17th when we're doing this show, and it turns out Disney has already crossed $1 billion at the box office year to date. That's kind of ridiculous. They become the first studio of the year to clear $1 billion worldwide. And it happened this past weekend, which blows my mind. I think a lot of it has to do with, of course, the holdovers, not the movie The Holdovers, but the holdover movies from Disney from the Christmas season. You have, of course, Avatar still playing out. You had, what was the other Disney animation movie that they had out? Zootopia 2. And so you have a bunch of other movies still playing strong. A lot of titles, 20th century titles, as well as Disney titles. And yeah, it's not surprising. It is, the only thing that's surprising to me is that it's this early in the year and they've already hit $1 billion. You know, you would know Disney would hit. I mean, I would have bet money that Disney would be the first studio to do it. I'm just surprised this happened, you know, what, 5-6 weeks into the year. So good on Disney. I mean, we'll see who wins I think Disney will easily win the year, considering, you know, Avengers, and, you know, you got like a ton of other, and Toy Story 5, The Mandalorian and Grogu. They'll be just fine. We love that you loved and enjoyed Wuthering Heights, Eric. John has the complete opposite opinion, but you know, I don't know if Liz has seen it yet. John, did Liz say if she saw it?
No, I don't know when she's seeing it, but I think she's seeing it sometime this week or early next week.
Well, one could say this past weekend the box office reached Wuthering Heights. So on that note, John, the WGA West is also reaching Wuthering Heights because guys, WGA is split into two pieces. There's the WGA West and there's the WGA East. WGA West right now has already gone on strike ahead of the writers union's negotiations with the studios, the, you know, AMPTP, the American Motion Picture Television producers. So this is kind of a preemptive action. I'm a little concerned because they haven't even started negotiating yet. It's still like, you know, a few weeks away, John. And I mean, while again, this is not all of the WGA, because again, there's the East and the West. So, you know, the West Coast side of the union has already gone on strike. That's a little concerning because a lot of those writers work on Hollywood productions on studio backlots. So I don't know. Your thoughts on this? This is not a good sign. This is the starting point.
Definitely not. Yeah, not great.
Not great. Not great, Bob.
Hi,
but
Bob.
you know what?
More like bye, Bob. Okay.
Bye, Bob.
Anyway.
Yeah, you finally caught up to For All Mankind season 4.
No, I think I'm on episode 6, 7, maybe 8.
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere around there, like mid to late season 4. Woof. I'm at the point, spoiler alert for All Mankind.
Not a good plan.
Just a side note where they're at the point of because they're doing the tritium asteroid or whatever, and then the last episode we watched, Dev was like, "You want to help me steal an asteroid?" I'm like, "Is this really where we're fucking going right now?"
I was like, this show, that episode had me so hyped because the way it ends, I'm like, holy shit! I did not think For All Mankind
we're really gonna
be
fucking
so
Ocean's
punk rock.
11 this show, right?
Yeah, I was like, it's so good. It's like, yes, because like this show is like known for being like very even keeled, a little melodramatic at times. But I did not think it would be like, like, you know, get totally like rock out, steal a fucking asteroid. That shit is cool. Like
I don't know how they do it. I don't know what happens with it. I think I have 3 episodes.
I'm not gonna ruin it for you. Don't you worry.
You know, we'll see where it goes, and then, you know, season 5 next month. So yeah.
But speaking of you know, writers' strikes. WGA West, of course, has gone on strike ahead of the negotiations, but the actors, SAG-AFTRA, they are currently negotiating with the studios, and at the end of the first week of their negotiations, everybody's silent. Nobody's negotiating in the public eye. They're all following their NDAs, which is probably a good thing. That's usually a good sign that, you know, they're not negotiating in the public eye. That means things are going at least okay. And so while the writers have, you know, kind of started off on a rough spot before their negotiation window even begins, the actors seem to be working with the studios as of right now, so we'll see. Look, fingers crossed, none of us want to see any more strikes, but we also want these workers to get their fair share in terms of like whether it's healthcare benefits, you know, just better working conditions, the studios and most employers in union negotiations try to take advantage of any weak points. And right now, the biggest thing for actors and, you know, the writers is the healthcare plans have been running in the negative for a few years now. So I just hope that they figure something out, because the studios know how bad the strikes impacted their business. Like, we have still not completely recovered. I don't think Hollywood could truly survive in its current form if we went through another set of strikes like this. So I just hope that the actors get their deal done on time, and then hopefully the writers, you know, can come in and knock one out as well. But yeah, so far we're off to a slightly inauspicious start with the writers, but then actors, I guess we'll find out soon enough. If there's any noise being made, then that will tell us where things are.
Yeah. So good and bad, but we'll see. The next good thing, though, is apparently the upcoming Netflix-produced Scooby-Doo show. McKenna Grace has landed the role as Daphne in the show, and fine, I'll watch your fucking show. I get it. You got me. Here I am. Fine, you got McKenna Grace as the goddamn titular Daphne. Fine, I'll watch your fucking show. Well, I mean, she did it as a, you know, Halloween costume and she played, I think, young Daphne in like Mystery Incorporated, or no, it was Scooby-Doo Where Are You? So it was like, guys, fine.
Scooby-Doo Where Are You was amazing.
Or no, not Scooby-Doo Where Are You? That was the original. So What's New Scooby-Doo?
What's New Scooby-Doo?
It was one of the more recent shows, but where she was like younger, so maybe it was like 5-10 years. So it might have been Mystery.
No, it's actually more than, dude, that show is like 15 some odd years old. I think you're talking about maybe the one after What's New Scooby-Doo. There was another iteration.
Yeah, no, there was Mystery Incorporated. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna
I think that's what it was.
Now it's gonna fucking bother me.
No, because I grew up watching, it was new at the time. What's New Scooby-Doo was new at the time. So McKenna Grace is definitely...
Man, I can't wait for Mason Thames to be fucking cast as Shaggy, because we know we're gonna get that.
We know. I mean, yeah. But this is great casting.
She was in.
I will watch the show.
Okay, she was in the animated movie,
the Warner Brothers movie.
That's what it was. Yeah. Okay, the one that nobody liked. But
somehow that made the theaters, and Batgirl got shelved. But you know, I digress.
Holiday Haunt got shelved for a tax write-off.
Oh, you're right. Yes, so you're right. Yeah,
so you're partially wrong. But yeah,
I accept that.
Honestly, like, even though
you can do it,
obviously they're doing like teen focus, but I'm like, I said this during my cold storage review. If they ever do an older, like, Scooby-Doo show, like they're all like late 20s, early 30s. Joe Keery, he would be so good as Shaggy.
He would be perfect. Also, I mean, McKenna Grace, clearly, I think this signals that they're trying to make this thing last. Like, this isn't going to be a one and done. At least that's the plan, because you bring her in and she could grow with the character, with the role over time. And that also gives us an idea of what maybe because, like, generally speaking, the Mystery Incorporated crew is kind of similar in age. So it gives us an idea of the kind of iteration of these characters we're going to get. So, like Soik, Scoob, I can't wait to see more Scooby-Doo. Good on Warner Brothers, and yeah, well done. I think this is a great piece of casting.
Yeah, now I'm actually gonna have to fucking watch this fucking shitty ass show.
Why are you prejudging it? I mean, it's just let's quick hits. We gotta keep
anyway.
Going.
The quick hits need to be quick. Scale, Squeeze, Middle, and Producer Angst. How a Bonage, all three media merger would impact would impact the TV district. Well, you know about this.
So
talk about it.
Well, I mean, Banijay is huge. They're like one of the biggest TV producer distributors, and then All 3 Media also. All 3 Media is the one that owns. They own the Traitors franchise, which is literally probably the most prolific franchise in all of reality television right now. Banijay, I think, also owns Survivor. They own what's that show with Cillian Murphy that I'm looking at right now?
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. That's part of that's franchises under them as well. Ton of stuff. I mean, the Traitors is a big one. the Peaky Blinders is a big one. Survivors. There's a ton of shows, that they distribute that also they produce in house, and these two companies are looking to come together, and that would kind of be a bit of a monopoly in that market in terms of like having a lot of power and negotiating with other other broadcast and streaming platforms that will carry the shows. Like the Traders is a big one. So I mean, I didn't even realize that Sky and ITV were in the talks to potentially merge. So that's gonna have a big impact, because right now all of these companies are gonna be going to like a big TV screenings event in London. And I imagine that's around the time you might get like HBO dropping another Lanterns trailer, or like a proper Lanterns trailer that we will get to see hopefully publicly. But yeah, this is if you're somebody who watches Peaky Blinders, looking forward to the new stuff that they're putting out, including the movies and the Traders, this could potentially impact where you get to see those shows and movies. So definitely, let's keep on rolling.
So yeah. Next up, Miley Cyrus's interview in Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special hosted by Alex Cooper. Cool, I guess. I don't really care.
Hey, I get the best of both worlds. You get the limo round front. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna do it. I grew up watching Hannah Montana, and all of Miley Cyrus's stuff aside in terms of what she's gone through and everything that's happened over the years, I still there's a part of me that's gonna want to watch this 20th anniversary special when it comes out. So. Glad Miley Cyrus is a part of it. So yeah.
Don't really care. Sports Fuel 12-month TV viewing high in January. Nielsen says Peacock viewership grows 10% thanks to NFL and the Traders.
The Traders, of course.
Thoughts on this?
I mean, it makes sense because you got the NFL playoffs, you got the college football playoffs. This is a lot of American stuff, of course. You got the Traders coming back. You got Alan Cumming looking like a handsome, sexy Scottish man that he is, and of course, in January. You have the, all the sports stuff at the NBA and NHL all in season, starting to get a little bit serious. The sports definitely driving driving the ratings. And, of course, when it's NFL playoffs time, ratings go up, so it's a bit, yeah, that makes sense. December tends to be the lowest of the, or some of the lowest of the year, because a lot of, things are sort of like, there's no shows in season or mid-season breaks. And NFL is going on. Not a lot of people watch NBA and NHL at the time. So, but yeah,
that's my thoughts on
sense.
that. Yeah. Next up,
I know movie spot 20th anniversary of Hannah Montana. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Bless you.
Gazoon tight. Anywho, so Mask of the Red Death, starring Mikey Madison and Léa Seydoux, begins production. First look revealed. Could be good, could be bad. I don't know. I'll watch it. I'm curious about it. Yeah, I can't imagine it's gonna be better than the original. Well, not the original, but one of the original adaptations with the Roger Corman version. But could be
Edgar Allan Poe.
Interesting, I guess.
Is it anything like Blue is the Warmest Color?
I hope not, because that is kind of a gross story about manipulating someone's sexual identity while they're kind of a minor. So let's not.
Well,
no.
I know. Anyway, we'll move on.
But I think, yeah, I mean, it could be good, could be bad. I'm kind of in the middle on it. I like Léa Seydoux, Mikey Madison, and I'm indifferent too. So
I will say
I like more Poe, but I don't know.
Edgar Allan Poe, of course, anything from Edgar Allan Poe, always great. Mikey Madison has been very careful about picking out her roles since winning the Oscar for Honora, because a lot of actors get that like Oscar curse. I mean, even what am I thinking of? He was in Indiana Jones, One for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Ke-Huy Quan even sort of had that happen, where he won the Oscar and then like we haven't seen him in a ton of significant stuff, and he's not the first or the last. And Mikey Madison has been very careful to her representation of picking the role that she would feel like is the best next step after having an Oscar on her mantle. So hopefully she will avoid the Oscar curse. But yeah, Léa Seydoux, this would be like her biggest role since James Bond, I think. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. But next up, Walton Goggins and Chloe Grace Moretz to star in action comedy Mister for John Wick Outfit Thunder Road. Filming begins next month in Madrid. Cool. I like both of them. I might go watch it.
Yeah, give me more Walter Goggins. I love that he's got a GoDaddy commercial where he's like, the Goggins is like a product, like his. I'm like, you need to make that a real thing, because I would totally get myself a pair of Goggins. You know, Walton Goggins. Come on, it's in the name, you know. And Chloe Grace
the Goggins goggles.
Yeah, the Goggins
Indeed.
goggles. Exactly.
But yeah, cool, great, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see it.
Action comedies are always fun.
Laura Dern, Simone Ashley, Levon Hawk, Mitra Jouari, and Gabby Windy.
Yeah.
I know one of those people. I recognize Hawk. I assume it's a child of Ethan. They join A24
Seems like
comedy Peaked. Cool.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? This thing has just been packing on big name actors. I mean, not all of them are big name actors, but I've seen Gabby Windy in a couple of things. Laura Dern, of course, everybody knows her. Simone Ashley sounds familiar. Definitely Levon. I mean, he sounds like he's a hot, yeah, like you said. And Mitra Jouari, I don't know if I've seen her in anything else. But you know what, John? There is one other actor in talks to join this A24 comedy, and it's stacked cast.
And it's
because
the gay boy. Anyway, but he did Rivalries. Connor Story latest in talks to join A24 comedy.
There you go. Ilya is gonna not only go to the cottage, but it's gonna be in a comedy that's going by the name Peaked. Yeah.
To quote Blight from Batman Beyond, do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that could be many things. Enterprising.
But hey, you know what? Connor's Story adds on to a stacked cast for Peaked. Can't wait to see what A24 got cooking here with this comedy.
Yep.
So yeah.
And then Emily Deschanel to lead NBC's crime drama pilot from Dean Georgaris and John Fox. Cool. I know Deschanel. I know Zoe. Yeah. I don't know Emily all that much.
Well, no, Emily. She was on Bones. Remember, she was.
I didn't fucking watch Bones.
I'm just saying that's where I know her from. They are related. I think they're sisters. So yeah,
cool. Nice. Coleman Domingo to receive President's Award honor at NAACP Image Awards. Deserving. Now just give this man a fucking Oscar.
He's just a chill dude.
Christ.
He's just a chill dude. Yeah. He's gonna be. What's the movie that he's in this year? Is it Project Hail Mary or what's the? I think he's in Project Hail Mary, right?
Disclosure Day.
Oh, Disclosure Day. Okay, sorry. 2 movies about aliens. Anyway.
Yes.
Let's keep on going.
Next up, first poster for Yoshi in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So, I mean, it's very obvious that they're doing like Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, heavy vibes with this one. So, you know, I would love to see like a part of me, just again to piss people off, because I love seeing people pissed off over the stupidest shit that doesn't matter. I would love for like Chris Pratt to voice Baby Mario, but like not try at all. He's just like goo goo gaga, I am Baby Mario. Just like not try. Hello, I am Baby Mario, voiced by Chris Pratt. Goo goo gaga. Just like
I would. I hope they did that. I want to see it. I would totally buy that. Give it to me right now.
Because I know that. Because I think they're like combined. I am for the most part excited. I'm a little worried because it looks like they're doing Galaxy. They're doing elements of Mario Odyssey, as the first comment says right there. They're doing elements of Yoshi's Island. So I'm just like, guys, you might be doing a little bit too much. For some reason, the first one, including all these elements, like the original Super Mario, doing this, that, and a little bit of Mario Kart, but like it still felt like a flowing like piece. It all worked. This, I feel like they might be doing a little bit too much.
Yeah, well, you know what? Ultimately, though, so far the marketing has been on point, and I'm gonna watch it. Like some of you guys are saying, this feels like a light in the darkness because there's so much stuff right now that's feels like, you know, well, we might be getting another set of strikes. You know, Warner Brothers can't figure out who to sell themselves to, but in the thick of all of that, we're still getting what looks like an amazing Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie. So I can't wait for that. Yeah.
Indeed. Anyway, so Constantine Film CEO Oliver Bourbon discusses the creative liberties Resident Evil director Zach Krieger took with the upcoming film. It is far away from everything that is connected to Resident Evil only because Zach Krieger has his own style. So I know this might have a lot of people worried, but I think it just comes down to the fact it's his artistic vision. But like, I still think we're going to be getting, like, it's going to take place in the world. It's going to take place in the world of Resident Evil. It's going to be connected to the games. Like, it's going to take place in the universe of the games. It's not just an adaptation. So here's the thing. I don't trust Paul W.S. Anderson with a bag of Tic Tacs, but I do trust Zach Krieger. He delivered with Barbarian. He more than delivered with Weapons, fucking Oscar nominated movie over here. I'm not selling it off just yet. I'm not quite there of like, oh, yep, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be the worst thing ever. This is gonna be terrible. I don't think we're gonna get that with this. I think we're gonna get a good movie. Maybe it's not gonna be but he did say, like, this isn't gonna be an adaptation of the game. If you want to play the game, go play the game. Why would you want to watch a movie version of that? Which I do kind of agree with. Like, why would you, go to the movie to watch a movie version of the game when you can just go and play the game? Or watch a playthrough of the game? It just, it doesn't make a ton of sense to me just copy everything note for note and just this thing happens, this, just like the game, just like the game, just like the game. It's, I don't know, it's a little tiring from, video game fans just have this really small worldview of stuff. I get people are scared because Resident Evil has a very dodgy history. You have the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, which are not very good. Again, they're very, they said no to George Romero, but they said yes to this, and it just, it doesn't even feel like the games at all. At least Zach Krieger, he's a fan. He says the core is going to be there. It's going to feel like that world, just like in his own style. And and then you also have Welcome to Raccoon City, which not a lot of people liked either. But with that, I don't know. I'm not gonna just automatically. Nope, this is gonna suck. But that's just me. But I've never played a Resident. I own a bunch of them. I bought them on sale on Steam fucking years ago, and I never played them. So, yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not going to be watching this movie because I want to watch a really, faithful video game adaptation. Clearly, I mean, they've tried stuff like that before. It's not worked. Let somebody, an auteur, storyteller like a Zach Krieger do what he wants to do, reinvent this for us. And, as long as, he's saying the core of the franchise is still going to be in there, I'm okay with that. Give us something. Dude, when was the last time we got an actually good Resident Evil movie? Right? When was the last time we got a Resident Evil good anything? TV show. There was a thing on Netflix. So I don't know. I can't think of any single example, like you said. So let Zach Krieger cook. He's not missed in a long time, if ever. So we'll see what it turns into. I'm excited as even not even a fan of the horror franchise. I've seen a lot of Resident Evil movies, and this is one I'm looking forward to. We saw some footage of them filming it a little while ago, some set footage. Not much to work from, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it turns into. So
yeah. Next up, he threw me in a headlock and starts hitting me with a noogie. I said to him, "Chris, I'm a 30-year-old man." He said, "Not to me, you're not." Just Nolan's I don't give a fuck. What are you gonna do about it, fucking twink? Come on now. That was great. Love it. Yep. Nolan just being based. That's all it is.
This was funny. I love the photo because it makes Christopher Nolan feel like a real person Sir President Christopher Nolan. He just he has an
aura about him.
He's an aura because the guy has a flip phone, doesn't really use computers, uses a freaking typewriter, and all the things that he does. He doesn't allow phones on set and all that stuff. I'm he's an analog man in a digital world, and it kind of creates this idea of celebrity around him, the way we used to think of celebrities back before the internet age. So at the same time, that means you only really get to see him in the public eye the way he wants you to see him. So seeing something like this is a little more candid, just makes you he's still just a dude that wakes up and puts on his pajamas one leg at a time in the morning and has his coffee and wakes up and smells the roses, whatever. He's still like one of us. And I love seeing stuff like this, and especially with Timothée Chalamet, which I mean everybody out there, like Sir President Christopher Nolan, Robert Downey Jr., Denis Villeneuve, just name them. They all seem to think that Chalamet is the next big thing, if not already the next big thing. I'm still a little on the edge because I haven't enjoyed all of his work, but I'll also be admittedly honest that I haven't seen all of his stuff, and I probably should see a few more of his movies. I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet, so maybe that will change my mind. But this is great to see. I just love seeing Nolan being a little more approachable with stuff like this. He needs to do more stuff like this. To all the people that accuse him of being a snob, I want to make IMAX movie. Not everybody has an IMAX theater near them. He's still just he can have fun, he can smile, he can give Timothée Chalamet a noogie, that's fine. Hello, Stacy in the chat, how are you doing?
But,
keep on
next up, Netflix takes global rights to Ticket to Ride board game with feature as first project in development. So yeah, I've
never played this game. I don't know if you have. Looks like a board game movie, like Jumanji would be or has been. Aren't they making a Monopoly movie?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've played it.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Netflix taking the global rights means they're gonna not only make one thing, they're gonna then probably try to localize it and make a million different versions or do spin-offs. So, yeah, I mean, good on Netflix. Netflix, you're greenlit. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah. Next up, Brian Tyree Henry adult animated series Bass Ex Machina gets Netflix greenlight release date. I assume this is kind of a case of Bass Reeves in a post-apocalyptic future type shit just from the picture alone. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. You know what? Brian Tyree Henry, sign me up. That I've only seen stuff that's actually really good to entirely amazing with him in it. Outside of Eternals, we don't really talk about that. So we'll see what it turns into.
Mm-hmm.
MPG not really feeling
but another thing in regards to Netflix moves into MMA with Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano fight.
Yep.
Who fucking cares? They're both has-beens. Why do we care about this?
But that's the point of this, right? They did the one of the was it Jake Paul with Mike Tyson? Was that Netflix? Or
yeah.
No, they did a different one. Anyway, they did a Canelo fight, I think it was, or Crawford and Canelo, or what it was. Look, Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano may not be the best of what MMA has to offer in the women divisions, but they still are the two biggest stars that the sport has produced. At least on the female side. And look, here's the thing. I saw the little face-off promotional thing. They're in fighting shape and they're looking as good as ever, I guess. Whatever. May 19th. They've been doing a lot of eventized sports productions, so we'll see. We will see what it turns into. It's gonna draw.
I think you're drawing me so upset, but okay.
I think he's upset about what? Did I say something about Brian Tyree Henry that you got upset at? I don't know. Well,
but speaking of Eternals, Salma Hayek joins Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum for launch of 30% cinema incentive.
So this is basically Mexico kind of putting out a tax credit initiative, and there's a cap on it. I think it's $2.3 million US dollars it equates to from pesos. So essentially, if you produce movies or TV shows in Mexico, whether it's a foreign company working through a local Mexico production company and hiring local workers, or local productions working within Mexico, they can take advantage of this, and it goes towards basically it's like a tax credit, like what LA has passed a new version of recently, what drew all the Marvel movies to the UK. Mexico also trying to get in the game and expand more production, south of the border, which is great to hear. And then Salma Hayek, of course, she said in this presentation she owes her career to the Mexican film community, and anything involving Salma Hayek, sign me up. So can't wait to see what comes out of this. I hope there's more movies and TV shows.
And then finally, the best news that we've gotten all day is that Mercy, the big box office hit, is now finally reaching digital. And the
25 days after it bombed,
Mercy is finally hitting digital, and very exciting.
I mean, 25 days after it bombed terribly at the box office is gonna be on streaming. I'm sorry, Rebecca Ferguson. I'm sorry, Chris Pratt. The trailers never convinced me. I'm sorry, whoever went and watched the movie. You can see it on streaming now, less than a month after it came out. So, not surprised. Color me not surprised. People. I don't think they're the same people that made both movies. That War of the Worlds movie was next level bad. I think Mercy is a little bit better, but really not by much. But anyway, I mean, that's all the quickest we got.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. We'll
thanks for watching this side of the show. Now we're going to be getting into DCU stuff. So, Dan, hit that intro and let's go into DCU Daily before the people get too annoyed with us talking about stuff they don't care about.
Blessed from the beginning, as it is.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Hunka hunka.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to DCU Daily. Very happy to have everyone here. It's going to be a fine DC time. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you'll hate today's DCU Daily. I don't know. I don't know your life. Fucking here's Dan.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about all the DC stuff. We got another Zack Snyder photo from the behind the scenes shot that he got from BVS, which I was actually genuinely blown away by because I didn't realize that it was all done in camera. And then of course we got what did Gunn say? Of course we're always talking about that. John, I think you might be excited to talk about that Superman Spider-Man crossover.
Yeah, I am excited to talk about that, but I don't know what people are into for today, but let's see. Let's see. The first thing we're going to be getting into is NECA has shared an official look at their brand new 8-inch Batman Returns figures, now available to pre-order.
those are precarious pawns.
Speaking of 8 inches, Catwoman. Hell yeah. So if you ever want to grab a mason jar and this figure, then by all means, have fun. And then you got Michael Keaton's Batman, which looks pretty good. I will say the cape looks good, but the rest of it... Although, it's funny, this is from the first Batman, not Batman Returns. So, that's interesting. Because the insignia is different. That's from the Batman 89, not Batman Returns. And it has the muscle outfit. It doesn't have the metal sheet outfit. So, yeah, they, I do, even the guy over there says, I do find it strange that NECA has Batman in his 89 suit since lineup is from Batman Returns.
The King.
So,
look, I guess they
weird.
Decided this is the canon version, so whatever, it's fine.
Which is funny, because Batman Returns is the better fucking costume.
I personally don't...
The Batman 89 one just looks kind of cheap and not well made, while the Batman Returns one's, the cowl fits better. The logo is way better. I don't mind the fake muscle on the 89 suit, but I like the sheets. I don't know how to it looks like a bulletproof vest. Covering his pecs and abs. And I think the cape looks better. It's overall just a better made outfit. if I do say so myself. So,
well, unfortunately, that's not the one they chose for this.
but it just doesn't make sense. That's all.
It's I'm just we're not the ones making it. I guess you guys can decide if you want to get your hands on Catwoman, the figure.
But
8 inches
next
long.
up, apparently, get this the fuck out of here, jeez. Superman and Crypto take flight. Magnetic levitating collectible figurines. Wow, you're really scraping the bottom of the shit barrel, man. Jeez.
This one, I mean, come on, like it's action figures. You guys can collect a levitating Crypto and Superman from Superman, the movie 2025. Anyway, that's why we call these quick hits the parrots, ducks, and pelicans of DCU news. Bird blindness.
And then speaking of that, apparently there's a digital card collection for.
Apparently DC Comics is doing some kind of digital trading card thing, and people are like, make actual ones so that we can buy them. I mean, why wouldn't they do that so they can collect all of our money? But anyway, it's good artwork. I would love to see this in an actual card that I can purchase and collect. So we get it, Comic Book King. You love 1989 Batman. We're moving past it. Speaking of which, let's move past this. More DC quick hits to get into.
Mm-hmm. And we have this one of, Will Arnett and Bradley Cooper, who worked together on Is This Thing On? It's, just Bradley Cooper being like, he's a fucking Lego, bro. I could, bam.
Lego.
Just fucking.
And then he does it again. Like, he comes back up like, bang, got it, gone again. And he's like, dude, it's Batman though. He's like, he's not gonna tell you. Like, but I get Will Arnett's arguments, but I feel like Bradley Cooper sort of like, I don't know. I think Bradley Cooper sort of won this, unfortunately.
I don't know. I agree with Will Arnett. You don't beat Batman even in Lego form. Just saying.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that.
But I'll give it a like.
I don't disagree with the take on Batman would totally win. I just disagree. I just think that Will Arnett didn't do a very good job of playing up.
He said he's Batman. That's all you need. He's Batman. There you go. Boom.
Fair. Okay. Cool.
That wins every argument apparently, according to the fucking nerds. So like,
unfortunately, Bradley Cooper has way more charisma. Always will. So like, it's
also. I would say, what's the worst thing about this video?
Yeah.
That fucking haircut, Brad. What is that? It looks like you have like a bump. What is this? The 80s?
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Yep. Well, you're not wrong, MTG. Somewhat.
And he's also like, his parents were murdered in front of him. Come on.
Yeah. Yep. Trauma. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Boom.
Comic Book King, we get it. Thank you. You're talking about. Never mind. You're talking about this Batman, not 89. Thank you. Yeah.
Anyway, but Clark Kent and Peter Parker teaming up. There we go. So this is obviously from Superman and Spider-Man upcoming crossover. I don't know how they're gonna. It's gonna on the March 25th. That's where it's gonna premiere or release or whatever the fucking word is.
Dude, I would love to see something like this in live action, but I'll take it in comic form too. This looks fun. These are all things that we.
I just hope they don't like do like some sort of like fucking multiversal fucking like you transfer. Like, I just hope it's just they exist and they just make a fun story. Like we don't need like multiversal horse shit that explains why Clark Kent's here and Peter Parker's there or like whatever the fuck. Just give me a good story. Like I don't need like.
Yeah. I mean, but this is not just a concept. This is a comic book run they're doing now, a special crossover. So March 25th.
I don't know how long it's gonna be. I assume it's gonna be like a part 1 that's gonna focus on Superman and part 2 on Spider-Man or vice versa. So I assume that's what it's gonna be, but I could be wrong on that.
Well, you can pre-order starting March 2nd, and it's gonna release March 25th. So
nice.
Wherever you collect your comics, your local comic book store, Comixology, wherever you get them, go out there and pre-order in a couple of weeks from now. So. Yeah.
And then this is fan art of the Teen Titans. Remember that movie that's never going to come out now because, reasons.
Well, Ana Aguirre can only write so many things at one time, you know. But
how about get another fucking writer, James? How about that? Fuck.
I do want to see the Teen Titans, and I love seeing this fan art. Like, they're just, you can see so much stuff. I mean, Wally West, probably we won't get this version of the character, but it looks nice. It looks fun. Always appreciate good fan art. Good job, Kevin fan art. Hello, Stacy from John and Dan.
Also, there you go. There's your.
There
boy.
it is.
Have
oh,
fun.
That's cinema. I'm sorry.
Just
like,
don't start fucking jerking off on camera.
No. I'm sorry, but like, it's whether you liked or did not like the fight between Batman and Superman in BVS. I think this shot is pretty goddamn amazing. Like, in the movie, you see it in whether it's the IMAX version or like the normal version. The fact that they did pretty much most of this and practically, like, it's kind of insane. Like, he says it here in his post, Zack Snyder, standing in the freezing rain in Detroit with Ben Affleck as he brought Gotham to life for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Just forget the context of the movie, just this shot alone. Again, Zack Snyder's cinematography was some level of amazing at times, and this is great. This was always one of my favorite shots from that fight scene, and you know, I love seeing this shot. This is a great photo, dude. This is cinema, as they would say. I love seeing it. A lot of pretty much every element in here is practical. You got real fire, real rain. The lighting, you know, is all practical. You got the bat suit there. You got Ben Affleck standing there. You know, aura is one way to describe it for sure.
Although aura spelled wrong, so
yeah, there's not an extra U in there. It's not AI. I mean, this is Zack Snyder posting it himself. But I'm not trying to bring back the Snyderverse. I'm just appreciating that there were some really good moments, and this was one of my as a fan of good cinematography, love seeing this. Especially when it's done practically and not. And Zack Snyder has been guilty for doing a lot of CGI when I think you could have achieved the same thing practically in some ways. So seeing that there were parts of this scene, that's why I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, that was entirely practical pretty much. And love seeing it. And you know what? Pretty pictures it may be, but still I can appreciate it. And it reminds me of a bygone era. So yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, Caleb's spelling will get a director's cut. We look forward to it.
Oh, hey, look. Hey, look, Caleb. Your favorite comic, The Dark Knight Returns.
Speaking of Batman v Superman.
So,
yeah.
Sorry. So with this anniversary kickoff event,
40th anniversary, right?
There's going to be a 40th anniversary celebration. Officially begins in February at Comics Pro in Glendale, California, where Miller and Jansen will appear together for a panel honoring the legacy, influence, and creative impact of The Dark Knight Returns. Probably too much impact. This event marks the first in a year-long series of activations spotlighting the creators and groundbreaking work they brought to life in 1986. Comics Pro members are invited to join Miller and Jansen in person or stream online if attending Comics Pro remotely on Friday at 4:30. So yeah, they're gonna have all sorts of variant covers. They're gonna bring they're bringing it to the DC Compact Comics edition. They're gonna do something for Batman Day,
nice.
Legacy of the Dark Knight Returns, and more to come. So yeah,
there will definitely be a lot coming.
Say what you will about Dark Knight Returns. I know I have is it a good story? Yeah, it's a good story. Is it a vastly overrated one? I also believe that as well. I don't think it should be the only Batman story, the be all and end all, when there are better written and better drawn stories out there from the Batman and the Cape Crusader himself. I just think whether it's media or comics or otherwise, I just think like Dark Knight Returns, very good story. It shouldn't be like, oh, this is the only thing we're going to derive from. This is the only thing that we're going to, be talking about because, it's still like, oh my God, Dark Knight Returns. So it's just like, there's other great Batman stories, guys. Come on. Like, I don't want to say like Dark Knight Returns ruined Batman for people because people just constantly go back to it and like, this is the only Batman story. It's just, it's so much like, yes, people were inspired by it. That's great. That's awesome. But the fact that 40 years fucking later, like, what other comic got an anniversary? Did Serious House on Serious Earth get an anniversary, fucking year-long anniversary? When that's a better story? Fucking all these comics, all these comic runs, all these comic stories, all these graphic novels. Who got an anniversary? None of them. Yet Dark Knight Returns still fucking gets one. When there are better stories out there that are deserving of year-long anniversaries just as much as Dark Knight Returns. It's just like, guys, calm down. Is it a very good story? Yes. But it's not the only Batman story. There are many others, and people
John,
people shouldn't treat it as the only fucking Batman story of all time.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. I totally hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, The Dark Knight Returns is as iconic as it is because there's that many people who loved it and stuff. So like, you could call it overrated. You could, when you judge it on the quality of the story alone, that's fine. I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying you follow the money and you go where the people take you. Yeah. And for better or for worse, it has had an outsized influence on how we think about Batman. So
I would say Year One doesn't get as much like jerk off special as Dark Knight Returns does, but it's still like, whenever like they're doing a beginning origin story, they go to Year One. It's like in terms of the two Batman stories we've gotten veteran Batman, like with Ben Affleck. What does it go? Dark Knight Returns. It's like fucking Dark Knight Returns straight from the fucking page. Or we get Year One. One of the two. And then like throw Long Halloween in there for like good measure. It's like, guys, what about the trillions of other Batman? Those Strange Apparitions was like fucking the entire Denny O'Neil run. There wouldn't be Dark Knight Returns without motherfucking Denny O'Neil. Like, everyone's like, oh, Dark Knight Returns. Well, if Denny O'Neil didn't do his run, we probably wouldn't have this. Like that, I'm just saying in regards to that, like, there would be no Frank Miller in the Batman pantheon without Denny O'Neil. So, frankly, get off my dick. All right? Jesus Christ.
Look, here's the thing. You can love and enjoy any and all Batman stories. In this particular instance, The Dark Knight Returns, obviously because of its popularity and 40th anniversary, they're not doing this because they don't, Warner Brothers and DC Comics are doing this because there's money to be made, and clearly financially with the popularity of this particular comic, there's a fandom out there. So it's like, blame the people. Like, if there's enough people out there who love it, that's why there's more. It's supply follows demand in this case, right? So, by the way, you're muted, John. Sorry.
And it introduced the best Bat family member.
No Man's Land, right?
Cassandra Cain. So, Also, as I mentioned this muted, it's Denny O'Neil, not Danny O'Neil, but yeah.
Right.
Exactly. 100%.
Yep. Yeah, well, The Dark Knight Returns, celebrating its 40th anniversary, and they got a year full of stuff planned. If you are a fan of the comic, then you'll get plenty of opportunities to get new collectible items and, new variant covers and whatnot.
Jarro based.
Yeah.
But in terms of Batman, speaking of overrated Batman, we have Absolute Batman, number 17. Leak reveals Absolute Poison Ivy's horrifying true form in its entirety. So it seems like there's this huge arc in regards to Poison. First, she was like a tree. Then she was a hot chick. Now she's like back to like an eldritch horror. So it's just like, all right.
I preferred the second iteration. I was like, oh, that looked okay. And this is like, ooh. But I guess that's the point. So
yeah, let me zoom out a bit so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, definitely like some eldritch deity. And also they got a Chainsaw Man reference, so there you go. That's nice. Got to get the manga readers in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not only did they reveal Absolute Poison Ivy's true form, but I think we also got
This isn't even my final form. Anyway.
We got our first look at the Absolute Suicide Squad in this latest edition of Absolute Poison Ivy. So, or Absolute Batman, I should say, which includes Poison Ivy. But I think if you go to the next quick hit that we got here, we got to look at Absolute Suicide Squad.
There we go.
I don't know,
That's
your
our
thoughts?
Zatanna.
Yeah.
And yeah, this looks so we have the Zatanna, which was introduced, I think, in Absolute Wonder Woman. And then I assume that's Giganta. I don't know who the fuck that is. I assume that's Cheetah.
Yep.
A Santaran? I have no fucking idea. Poison. Okay, just I don't know who that is. Yeah, okay. I know Fishman. Yeah, that classic DC character. Fishman and Poison. Okay?
Absolute Suicide Squad. Isn't that the guy from? Isn't that the character from that movie where Sally
The
Hunt?
Shape of Water, where Sally Hawkins.
Shape of Water. Sally Hawkins. Yes.
No, yeah. Sally
looks-
Hawkins, Octavia Spencer, Michael Shannon, aka Zod.
Right.
So you know.
Yep. I have the movie. I don't think I've ever seen it. I have it on Blu-ray. I should probably pop it in sometime. I would love to
I
see.
will say,
Zatanna
I mean,
movie.
these are good designs. Like, I like them. They look cool and interesting. It's just like I don't know who
Absolute
the fuck half
Aquaman
these
looks
characters
different.
even are supposed to be. Like, I could gather like that's probably Giganta. Like, and that's Cheetah,
Yeah.
considering this is a Wonder Woman comic, so that makes sense. Oh wait, okay, so hang on. Since this is Wonder Woman, I just realized, this is probably Dr. Poison. Okay,
Right.
that makes more
Yeah.
sense. Got it.
Isn't that we got Dr. Poison in the first Wonder Woman
Wonder
movie,
Woman
right?
movie. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
all right. If Absolute Aquaman is a fish, I'm done.
I think
That
Absolute
would be funny,
Aquaman
though.
looks different, and he does not look
So,
like a fish.
okay, so that's probably Dr.
Yeah.
Poison, and the other one, I guess there is a character named Fishman. I don't fucking know. Fishman. Okay.
Fishman.
But I mean, considering it's a Wonder
Absolute
Woman
Fishman.
comic, the Suicide Squad is, I
Yeah.
guess, made of Wonder Woman villains. So that's kind of a weird,
Yeah,
interesting way to do it, but
yeah.
sure.
Yep. Interesting.
Hey,
Indeed.
go read Absolute Wonder Woman. Don't support Tom King. Support this. It's different and interesting, and probably a million times.
Very,
better,
very
so.
metal. Very, very metal.
Indeed.
Bodman Fishman from Jamaica.
Okay. Speaking of Teen Titans, though, apparently Walter Scobell has seemingly expressed interest in playing Wally West, because of course he has. In the DCU, the actor recently liked a TikTok video fan casting him in the role. At age 17, he has already started multiple notable projects. The most recent one being Percy Jackson, and before with the Adam Project. So, okay.
I mean, Absolute Aquaman is a glass of
don't get me
water.
wrong, I think this is good casting. He overall
Yeah.
good vibe. Maybe a little bit too obvious.
I get it though.
but-
Like he wants to play the character. Yeah, you're going with a younger version.
Indeed.
Yeah. I also love Aquaman. Aquaman, man, it's so great. So great. When you're in need of quenching some thirst, you call Aquaman. Walker Scobell, though. I guess it would depend completely, John, on whether Wally West would be like the younger version or not, right? Because we keep
Yeah.
wanting to see that.
I mean,
if that's
he
gonna be
would
the
be
main
good
line
as
Flash.
Kid Flash, but I would like to
Yeah.
see Wally West as the Flash in this world.
Yeah.
Like, we already had Barry Allen. Because I mean, the thing is, they're already introducing Jon Stewart as sort of a rookie Green Lantern, sort of like the next generation. They're probably going to go with an older Batman. Well, I mean, who knows at this point with how many fucking delays and change ups they're going here, but most likely they already have an older Hal Jordan. The man is going to be at the very least in his 50s. I mean, Kyle Chandler is almost 60, so he's probably at the very least going to be in his 50s. They have like this young Superman, and it makes sense to have an older Batman. So I don't know. It makes sense to me if you're gonna have a young Jon Stewart to have like a young Wally West, but not as Kid Flash, but as the Flash.
Yeah. Oh, the kid from Gotham. well, he's probably also aged up at this point. You're really not talking young Flash at that point, but Kid Flash. Yeah, I mean, Walter, it's look, actor wants to play a role, get it, and Walter Scobell should shoot a shot, and we'll see if that's the direction they want to go in. I mean, we have no idea. I don't think James Gunn has any idea what he wants to do with the Flash, or whatever idea he has is probably very, very vague and probably in its really early stages. So we don't even know if they're gonna do a Wally West Flash to start out. Maybe they do a Barry Allen again, or maybe if they do a Wally West, maybe it's a grown-up version of it, or maybe they don't. So. But they did recently file a trademark for the Flash, although it was more for like this particular symbol. It wasn't for like the word mark. I think we talked about it yesterday. So it's not really indicative of the fact that they're working on something actively behind the scenes for the DCU. I think they're gonna be featuring potentially a Flash, symbol through Gorilla Grodd's story in the Jimmy Olsen TV show. So, which is meant to be like sort of like a kind of like The Office, except they're investigating crime and it's in the DCU. So, yeah, the tier list today, by the way, is coming up. Tier list Tuesday comes up right after this show, Comic Book King, and we'll be talking about the 10 best black supervillains. You guys voted for that topic, so that comes up minutes from now once we wrap up DCU Daily. But John, we are done with the DC quick hits. Now we got to talk about. What did the Gunn say? Ring, ding, ding. James Gunn. He was busy on social media posting about some stuff from Superman the movie 2025. I want to walk us through a couple of these.
Well, I mean, this is the River Pie sequence where they're in that weird river in the pocket dimension. So, And is it me or does the Superman stunt double look like Eddie Redmayne?
It does. I was like, it's like it's very much
specifically in the theory of everything because he kind of looks Stephen Hawking-esque because he has weird pause face. So like hello, I am Superman stunt double. Anyway, okay. I can make fun of Stephen Hawking. All right, fuck off. He doesn't care. Plus, he would have probably liked it anyway. No, you could just end that. Honestly, you could end that after Will Smith's wife, and it'll be the same exact thing. You didn't even have to like specifically say Pursuit of Happiness. You could have just ended that as number one black supervillain is Will Smith's wife. Yeah, no, that's accurate. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, this was interesting because they called it the River Pie. I didn't think they would shoot any of it practically. I guess they did shoot some of it practically.
And I like how he's holding like the baby. Like it's like a doll.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
Like this was like this. I mean, this was the scene that pretty much proves that like, oh, Superman's a bitch. He got fucking, beat up the entire movie. It's like, bro,
the dude just used the gravity of a black hole.
Used his breath to fucking survive
People
the
don't
gravity
realize.
of a black hole whilst holding on to a baby, a dog, a squiggly man, and himself. Get out of here with that fucking shit. Come on now.
Physics. Hashtag physics. Let's keep on going.
Yeah, epic stuff.
What else
guys.
did Gunn say?
He was is this like my dream? Like just in the middle of three beautiful women right here. Anyway,
there's 5 right there. Who are you?
I mean, the other 2 are like a little bit older, but it's they don't really have MILF energy, but it's the 3 middle chicks. It's just like I feel like this is a dream I had. But well, to be fair, Henry Cavill did survive a nuke, so there is that. But yeah, so of the many fake talk shows we shot, the hardest to cut was this one, featuring our VFX producer Susan Pickett, Chantal Nong, Millie M, production designer Beth Mickle, and Rosemary Brandenburg, who was the best actor of them. I gave her a line. So yeah, this was like the fake one of the fake segments in, I assume, Superman or Peacemaker or whatever.
I think this is Superman. Remember they did that whole social, like when Superman's getting buried on television when he finds out. Super shit, yeah. Well, I guess they probably had a longer montage plan and they did all this stuff, and then ultimately they had to cut it, which is fine. It happens, but yeah, I'd love to see it.
But yeah,
that's
it. We're done.
It's right here.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Sorry, my one of my kittens is meowing at me, so I'm gonna go give her a treat. But yeah, no, we got Tier List Tuesday coming up for you guys in a few minutes from now. Literally, we're gonna probably need to move the start time of it up a little bit because we thought we would be done a lot later.
Oh no, I set that shit for 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I don't. Yeah, I already beat you to it. Don't worry.
Well, no, I said no. I was like, we need to move it forward. Is that what that's what I meant?
Yeah, so, you said move it back, so that is,
move it back.
Okay.
Sorry, yes, move it forward.
Whatever. Anyway, forward. Anywho, but I gave it extra time because you never know. But anyway, thanks for watching. Been a pleasure. We'll see you for Tier List Tuesday. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when we go live. And remember, stay #blessed. So, see you soon.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you wanna shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Hunka hunka.
And remember, fuck Tom King and fuck